Hello, beautiful people out there. It is your boy, not combing, but your boy, Static Dreads. Joined. That was a cultured anime joke. Kelz. Also joined by Kelz and his Yingling. Joined by Zog and his identified beverage that I'm sure that he has. And
Margarita.
And joined by Strange, who probably has water, just like myself. Stay hydrated in these hot times. Yes.
Hydration is amazing.
Yes.
Cool
Without
when you're not
hydration, our anime of the week would not exist, which is Yuri on Ice, because ice is very much frozen in hydration. So your science lesson has been given.
I thought it was to
by
quench
Content
their
Breaker.
thirst.
No.
It was
Because they are thirsty.
Oh.
Thirsty for the gold.
Yes. So
Well, kiss
yeah,
that
we're
gold.
doing Yuri on Ice today to close out this month of podcasts in June. So yeah. But yeah, so first of all, elephant in the room, Yuri on Ice is a sports tournament anime. So it is not a romance. It is not a slice of life. It is a sports tournament anime. Just so we get that out there, so we can give it.
Could have fooled me, honestly.
I mean, could have
They
fooled
did. Oh.
the majority of people. That's why we are like clarifying what it is by saying it is a sports tournament anime, which will come into play later in the podcast because I do have some like actual words about this being a sports anime. But yeah, so plot of Yuri on Ice is everybody wants to be a gangster, but not everybody can. So Giovanni, oh sorry, wrong script. No. So, basically, our main character Yuki, it goes through the
What?
trials and huh?
Yuri.
Yuri. Oh my God! Like literally.
It's in the name.
I mean,
Yuki.
it's all right. We just got like 2 people with that name. It's hard to remember.
So
Is this Vampire Nights? Like,
I kind of wish though. Vampire Nights pretty banging. Like, I know we already did a podcast on it, but like, let's do one again. But yeah, our boy Yuri goes out here with his dreams to be Japan's top representative in Grand Prix to win his skating prize. But as he was, it's the trials and tribulations of making it to the top in the figure skating world is basically what this is about. And Yuri navigates this through all the ups and downs of competition and, you know, interpersonal relationships between all of it takes to get to the top. And you got to go against the best. So you got to go against Canada, who has a nervous breakdown before they win. But, so, yeah, it's basically
Anxiety,
our boy Yuri
man, that's a
representing
bitch.
Japan in the skating competition. And that's to where we get because there's really supposed to be more. We don't have a lot. We got 12 episodes. But, yeah, let's get into it. So, first of all, as we do here on Content Breaker, spoiler-free review before we break it down. What everybody think? Would you recommend this? Like, how do you feel about this ice skating anime about interpersonal relationships?
It was fine. It's not my thing personally.
Why?
It was like, no, okay, look, it was good. Would I have actively sought this out and watched it? No. Why? It's just not what I'm into. I'm not into the sports or the, slice of life or whatever. I mean, it was good though. Very well animated, very nice music. Not because of what you're thinking.
no, absolutely. Very nice.
Not
music.
because of
Yeah,
what you're thinking.
No, of course.
But-
The soundtrack was incredibly impressive. The
Banger,
entire
man.
movie.
Like,
Absolutely.
fun. Here's my Yuri on Ice story. I had heard about Yuri on Ice for years because I have a lot of friends who like rock with Yuri on Ice. I know Yuri on Ice for the banger intro that I constantly have in
That was the first
rotation on
time
my
I heard
playlist. That's a good intro. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's a very good intro, very
Like-
banging. I was like, I want to add this to my music actually.
Because it's in English. That's kind of a surprising
Yeah.
part too.
And it's like that. Like, I feel like Phil Collins could have done this as well. Like it had that vibe. Like yeah, I don't remember what they're saying. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So Strange said it's not
Could
his
you
thing,
imagine?
which is, it is what it is. I would say it's something that I didn't feel like I had to watch, but since I watched it, I'm like, cool, I've seen it. If that makes
No, that's
like,
how I.
any
That's
sense.
exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I agree. It's one of those that it's like second, third round of anime, you're done with all of the kind of stuff you're supposed to watch to really get into it. And now you're exploring like different genres. That would be where this kind of falls in for me. It's a great example of a type of genre, but not necessarily like the pinnacle or like the crown jewel that really caps a genre off. Because you do have both sports, which is incredibly engaging, and you also have interpersonal relationships and the challenge of dealing with oneself and growth and all of this stuff, and unspoken, desire and affection and complicated feelings. But no, like really the complication and the complexity of the emotions and it not being ever really stated that this is what this is and we're going to just deal with it. Like
Yeah.
it is challenging in a way, and that kind of nebulous feeling you're left with, I think it does a great job of it.
Yeah, this man went to go get a master's. Now he uses words like nebulous all the time. So
I have to, man. I paid for these fucking words.
yeah, no, I agree.
well. I'm just
Just like Yuri on the first episode.
Wow.
Yeah, it's full circle here.
he failed.
I mean, he failed so he could succeed, right?
And that's like the phoenix rising from the failure. Zog's going to come in clutch with a real review next week of whatever the fuck we're talking about. Well, after this, we'll get to it.
I just never wrote that so hard, man. I'm anyway. Hunter. I'm just anyway. So yeah, and we do what we can out here. We got 4 people. We all got jobs, wives, kids. We make it how we can.
Who has kids?
Mind your business, Strange. Anyway, so
It's like no, it's not me.
anyway,
Them geese.
yes.
There
They're
you go.
still working on it, man.
Yeah. You the Godfather. Yeah, you the
But yeah,
Godfather.
so overall, I'd say it's definitely a check it out if you're interested in ice skating or just want to watch some MAPPA projects or something going on. So yeah,
I'd
go
say
check
it's
out Yuri on Ice.
very beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, this choreographed great. Like the scenes,
Yeah.
like it's balling. I wish we would have seen more. We only really see like a few routines, and that was kind of one of my major like complaints towards this. Was that it would have been cool to see more, but I guess like we only did have 12 episodes, so like
I
Yeah.
liked that it was repetitive and it focused on the growth and like completion of the routine, because that was insight for me as like, here is your introduction to figure skating in the same way that Smile Down the Runway is like, here's your introduction to high fashion.
Oh, I learned a lot about figure skating. I was like, is that really how it works? And they tried to explain the scoring system. Like, I still don't understand it, but all right, y'all do you.
But absolutely, that's kind of my vibe. Jump,
yeah.
spin and
Jump a lot.
So yeah, like moving into, since we're talking about this, moving into like spoilers and like go watch it if you haven't, then come back. Moving into
watch it.
spoilers. One thing that, yeah, true.
Yeah, we can't
True,
tell you.
true.
Just don't watch it hungry like I did. That was a mistake.
Oh Lord, I don't want to ask, but okay.
The food, man. They draw the food. Immaculate. What you mean?
Oh, I thought Yuri was a snack, but
Same.
No,
but
why? The pork cutlet bowl? Like, y'all
that
weren't
was
like,
a nice pork cutlet bowl.
I was like, I want to, where can I go get me one of those?
That was so depressing. I'll never taste that food. But anyway, so moving on to like it's one thing that I wanted to talk about. For me, Yuri on Ice, it was good and it explained like the mechanics of figure skating, but it didn't make me feel like care about figure skating in the way that other sports anime did, notably like Haiku and like yeah, but I mean like still you got Haiku and even Smile Down the Runway it made me like legitimately care about fashion. And like this is kind of where it fell short for me from being like an actual like sports anime. Don't get me wrong, it had that in there, but we were more focused on the like inner workings of the relationships. Why a lot of people don't think Yuri on Ice is a sports anime because of that like lack of. Don't get me wrong, it explains it. It does, but it like doesn't delve into it like those feelings that you get from like Haiku or even Smile Down the Runway like fashion or like Ace of Diamonds or Aoshi or Blue or Slam Dunk or Kuroko no Basket, you know?
I think the challenge here is that figure skating is a singular sport, at least for what we're shown here. So, a lot of the relationships are, the challenge is Yuri and himself, Yuri and his peers, his family, his supporters, his trainers. But at the end of the day, the performance, the competition comes down to Yuri himself and his execution.
I mean, yeah.
And so the success is teamwork adjacent. Because at the end of the day, it's up to Yuri to either make the flippy spinny thing or not. So having that separate from the team's success is the part that challenges. You don't really get to see the teamwork effort because it's not really a team sport.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, and I understand that. But like for myself, I've watched another anime called Free, which is about swimming, which is another, singular sport, and I still like didn't get that passion that I got in Free, and like I don't think there's anything the matter with that because it could be like that I have a modicum of interest in swimming, but I didn't really have any interest in figures. Well, that's not true. I used to have a crush on Christy Yamaguchi, so I watched a lot of her stuff, but. Famous figure skater, if y'all don't know. And I love Missy Copeland, who does ballet, which is like non-ice figure skating. But anyway, so.
Well, I was about to say, as we saw, though, figure skating and ballet kind of like.
Yeah. So that was just kind of one thing for me. That wasn't like a complaint or anything. It was just something that I like found interesting. Was that because there are other sports anime like Keijo. Keijo did not make me care about.
Is that a sports anime, my guy?
Technically, he's not wrong.
We really focus on the independent nature of the relationships.
I'm not gonna lie though, I actually do want Keijo to be a real sport, but I'm worried people might die. So watch Keijo. We gotta put that one on the list. That is Content Breaker After Dark, which actually might happen. I need to talk to y'all
what
about
are you
that
watching?
later.
Nothing, honey. Promise.
Anyway,
I'm watching research. Mind your business.
It's a very important topic.
there's 4 seasons of research. I need to get.
There's
So
4
first-
seasons of Keijo.
No, there's only one, sadly. But there's 3 seasons of Testament of New Sister. Anyway,
Sports anime.
we're never gonna get it. That's depressing, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, but basically, like I did like how, but it did do a really good job of doing something that I feel like, not a lot of other animes do this as well. Like Haiku does it sort of, but not to like the level. I feel like Yuri on Ice did this better than a lot of other sports anime did, where it kind of showed the example of the stress and the pressure of competition. Like our boy Yuri was going through it. Like we saw that home dude from Canada, whose name I forget.
JJ.
JJ, yeah.
JJ style.
JJ's
Whatever
tramp stamp
pose he
was
did.
the real Scylla of the show for me. Like That's what got me real nice. But and it's weird because normally you see like JJ's like the opposite of every Canadian that I know and have met in my life. But anyway, so
That's why he was competing. So
Have you met a Canadian figure skater?
no, I haven't met a Canadian figure skater. You're right, but I did watch Go Figure, a decom movie. There was a Canadian in that, and they were pretty rude. So I guess that counts. What?
Kelz's reaction.
What?
I love it.
Decom December coming soon.
Oh no.
Police. Decom December. We got to do it. So I nominate
13th
Twitches.
year.
Goddamn.
Twitches.
Cheetah
And
Girls,
Cheetah Girls too. Yes, it's happening. Put it
Xenon. Anyways,
in the book, Strange. But yes.
All right.
And this is how we branch out into live action.
Yeah, but no, it did a really good job of handling stress because we saw JJ from Canada. Like JJ would have won. I feel like if he didn't like kind of like and this is a perfect example of just accidents just happen. You know, it's not always somebody else. It's this. But I felt like it was kind of like the mental like stress of like the performance that got him. You know, because if he would have done that, our boy Yuri would not have placed where he placed and made it. You know, so. And we also see Yuri going through that too, like on the way up to the competition where he's like stressed out and like wilding out and everything. So I felt like that does a very good job. Granted, I didn't rewatch Haiku while I rewatched this, but I can't think of a lot of other sports animes that really deal with that like mental strain. Like you have like the pain of losing, but not really the mental strain of playing, if that makes sense.
I feel like that's a big disadvantage to most sports anime, honestly, because 9 times out of 10, I don't remember the sports anime I'm watching, unless you're freaking Haikyuu, where you get into the minutia of not only what the characters are doing and feeling, but the game itself. Which, from what you're saying,
I mean,
that
you
sounds
got
like what
some
they're
like
doing with this one.
Megalobox, which does it phenomenally. But like other than like Megalobox and like this and Haikyuu, I mean, Haifuru, which we should all also watch, but that's about like the game of like Choji. I think it's Choji, like anyway. So
Shogi.
It's the game where they have. What is it? It's Katara. It's basically the game where you play with poems and stuff in Japanese. Like you play with poems and haikus.
No idea.
Oh,
You lost me.
No,
you
hold
lost
on.
me completely.
No.
I don't know what you're talking
No.
about.
I understand exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about. I don't remember what it's called, but you basically do a haiku off. It's like that one episode where Sokka went into a haiku bar place.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know that.
I don't know what
you're
it's
talking
called,
about there, but
I don't know
that's
what
a game.
Yes,
it's a thing.
Rapping with your friends on the street in Japanese.
That's basically what it sounds like.
But yes, we should watch that.
yes.
And the stress of coming up with work.
Somebody make a watch list so we can actually just put these
Katsura.
things together.
It's called Karuta. Katsura, a traditional Japanese card game.
Somebody make a watch list and put that on there.
Okay, I have a watch list and it will be added to there. But yeah, so like outside of that, I've already watched it, so y'all need to watch it as well. But you don't really,
I'm not gonna remember.
yeah. But anyway, so and then you got like Run with a Wow, which is like sports anime is so interesting because like listen, Yuri on Ice fits into the sports anime category because I feel like hot take here for me. I have ascended from my shonen fanboys as a youngling, and rom-com, romance, number 1, then like comedy and stuff, number 2. And I feel like sports anime and shonen are like neck and neck for me now. Like it used to be like shonen over everything, but like I'm really delving deep into the shonen or sports aspect of these shows in anime. So like Yuri on Ice is another notch in my belt that I'm happy to have because it tackles the whole, because it takes a lot to get into sports and people don't like recognize that. Like you got to have that mental fortitude, the physical ability. Like I don't care what you're doing, like especially if you're playing like like this shows how physical it is, and the like the
that's
meticulousness. Is that a word? Meticulousness?
Yeah.
But the meticulousness of getting this routine, of doing it 100 times, like zenning out to where it's just like absolute calm, getting your poses, like doing all that, and like relinquishing your fear of falling in the ground. Like this is top stuff. Like you're on the ice sports anime, a banger music.
Well,
It's also a relationship drama.
Yes.
I was about to say.
So that's the other thing. I feel like almost the relationships drives this more than the sports itself. Or maybe it's like completely neck and neck. It definitely is more so than other sports anime. Like, I don't even think we have a like love interest for Hitana of like Haikyuu. I'm just gonna use Haikyuu as an example to compare it to the whole time, I guess. But I don't even think we have one.
Well, it is the best sports anime.
Yeah, facts. And like even like Megalobox, like Joe never had a girl or anything like that. So it's like we didn't see that. So, but in Yuri on Ice, we see like the relationship aspect. So we don't necessarily have anything to compare it to in that aspect, because like we don't know how it's been done in sports anime before. I feel like Yuri on Ice is kind of like the first to show that, where it's like as prominent with the relationships, and our boy Yuri's relationship with his instructor, you can say
Trainer.
yeah,
Coach.
trainer, coach,
His
yeah,
coach.
Victor, his Victor. So
His idol.
Yes.
His crush. His everything.
yes,
His inspiration.
his air beneath his wings, or whatever Chris Brown said pre being a douchebag.
Chris Brown.
Like I don't it's like I said pre being a douchebag.
I don't think there was ever a pre. It's just before or after he put his hands on Rihanna.
Yes, but like that it was the before part of like him when he made music that was like uplifting, and it was the church boy from Virginia instead of the Wu-Tang member from 3rd Street. But anyway,
Again, I'm gonna take your word for it.
so Yuri gets trained by Victor because someone secretly recorded this man practicing Victor's routine and uploaded it. And Victor's like, you know what? I want to help this kid. So I'm going to take some time off from being awesome to go do that. And I'm like, could you imagine if like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James was like about to go to the NBA championship, and it was like, oh, this little kid is dribbling the ball wearing my jersey. I'm going to go help him. Granted, it wasn't necessarily like that because we know Yuri was already kind of established. But it was just like, that just seemed so asinine to me. I'm just like,
I mean, but he was 5-time winning champion. He had done everything, and he was bored.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay,
but
that
like,
makes sense to me. Just like I feel no challenge in it. I might as well, dedicate my time to being a teacher rather than doing it myself.
I mean, but still,
That makes sense.
maybe it's just because I'm like, yeah.
Or
Please,
you take the
please
shortcut
throw
and
that
just
cat outside.
Kitty,
Take,
hey, fuck you.
take Victor's ice skates, throw them on a power line, let lightning strike it, and then there you go. Wear Victor's skates that got struck by lightning. That's
You become Victor.
you become Victor. Yeah,
Talking about
You get a movie. You get to star in your new movie, like Victor.
like Victor.
And this was Static's last podcast with these.
how are you going to be hung up on them making a like Mike reference?
Holy shit,
They're
man.
trying to relate to us, guy.
Oh my. But yes, that's how you become great at anything. You take the equipment that the person uses and you let it get struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Could you imagine like freaking MMA, like trying to throw a mouth guard or something up there, or
They throw the gloves up there.
swimming, like strapping a speedo to a power line? Like,
May the spirit of Michael Phelps.
Lord Jesus, why is your cat rubbing on your mic? Your cat never wants to love you aside of podcast. I think you gotta get a new cat.
No.
Yes.
Do you know anything about cats?
No.
It's the most inopportune moment that
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
going to be like, give me the most attention.
He's like, "Hey, you're talking to someone, and I'm not being paid attention to. Pay attention to me.
Is
All right.
why we don't like cats. Dogs all the way.
Yuri
How
on
do you
ice."
How do you feel
Mm-hmm.
about Yuri's interaction with his coach and his whole story progression about learning what love means and how that really relates to his family and his supporters and his weird, like, non-romantic, strange, curious love for Victor now that he's gotten to know him?
You know,
What's your opinion about the whole
I-
vibe?
so like, okay, I honestly thought going in this, I really thought that, and you know, we're talking in spoiler territory. I thought they'd get together at the end, but they don't. I'm just like, I thought all the ladies were freaking out about this. They're like, yeah, they kissed, they did it, they're together, and I'm just like, that didn't happen. I feel like I was lied to.
Did it?
Hey,
not
just because you didn't see it happen doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, is it implied at the end? I guess, sort of, but like,
I did look into the series, not like in depth, but a fair bit. Everything I found about it said yes, it was just one of those censorship things so that they could show this show in China.
but a very specific thing.
Yeah,
It's a major market for Japanese anime.
everything.
Yeah.
It's a major market for everybody, apparently.
Yeah.
So, for me, I feel like it's always unethical to be with the person who's instructing you. But I rock with it, you know?
There are lines, right?
Yeah.
Yuri's like 23.
Yeah.
Victor's like 25, 26, 27.
Yeah, no, they're definitely of age and
Consenting
adults.
adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
So
Not an academic
No.
setting.
I do.
True. I will say it is a little fucked up if Victor was like, ooh, I have the hots for that boy. I'm going to go over there and then be his coach. That's a little... Yeah. But... he's old enough to know the difference. It's all up to him at that point. Someone's got to trust his judgment at that point.
Well, it starts off as Victor getting close to Yuri to make sure he can hone his emotions because of the importance of emotions in figure skating. Like, figure skating is one of those sports where you have to have, it's like gymnastics. Like, you're judged from everything from how neat your outfit is to the point of your toe to your eyes to all that. So Victor's like, yo, you have to master yourself before you can master your craft. So he does that and teaches Yuri how to, like, basically understand his emotions, but Victor has to understand Yuri first, so he gets to know Yuri to the point where Victor's like, I'm feeling things, and Yuri's like, I'm afraid that you're gonna leave, so I'm like hesitant to do this. But then Yuri's like, I killed that routine, and Victor's like, I'm gonna jump on you.
Oh, when you put it like that, yeah, fuck it. Go for it.
Yeah,
A lot of tension in this show. I
a
really
lot
like
of Marvin
the first,
Gaye.
I really like the scene, like one of the first scenes where Victor's like, they're on the beach and they're talking, and he's like, I gotta find a way to motivate you. Like, what do you want me to be? Your father? Like your friend?
Your mom.
And they're like, he's like, no. It's like, your lover. And then he freaks out. He's like, no.
Hey, found your answer.
There you go. Yuri.
It's like that. I don't know what you just said, but it's like that. Like that Justin Bieber song, where he's like,
Nah, I'm out.
"I could be you." Don't hate on the Biebs. He's grown and he's developed. Sorry,
Still don't like his music.
well, that's fine. I don't like your music. Yeah,
And that's why I don't put any more out.
All in all, hope Justin Bieber is okay.
yeah.
What song are you trying to relate this to?
It's on Boyfriend, where he's like, I could be anything that you want. I could be your friend. I could be this and that. And I forgot the rest of the lyrics because it was like 8 years ago when I heard that. But he talks about how he could be whatever he needs you to be to get to the point. But another thing that I want to talk about, because you're right, like we had the romance and we had the character relationships, but the secondary characters in this anime got hoed so hard for me because I don't remember any of their names because it was like a roulette. Like I remember Yuri, I remember Victor, and I know that there was a second
But
Yuri, but I kind of don't
do-
remember him either.
Really? You don't
Yeah,
remember
like-
I do
Yuri?
not remember the second Yuri.
I know.
I mean,
Yuri-
From my
Rio?
understanding, the two Yuris are the main two characters outside of Victor.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, I remember him, like
He
kind
won
of.
the competition, man. He creamed everybody. He said
Yeah.
he went in there, he skated, and he just
He was like Russia and beauty and hair.
Anger.
He was Victor's prodigy, like
Yes.
the peer that was coming up after Victor in a different way than the Japanese Yuri, who only saw Victor from a distance and like had this kind of skating crush on him.
Yeah. Like,
But
I
you
mean,
don't remember him.
I remember him, yes, but I'm saying he wasn't as notable. Like, he was memorable, yes. So we had both Yuris. Anybody in this anime outside of Yuri and Victor, I do not remember that well. I remember there was a dude named like Oblek or something, and I forgot mostly about him. I remember JJ because of a tramp stamp in Canada, but like I don't remember any of the coaches. Basically, like I don't remember.
There were
Like
like 3 coaches
yes, and what are their names?
of import. I don't know. There was the dude with the long hair.
What country does
There
he
was
represent?
the old Russian guy. And then there was Canada.
The old Russian guy was Yuri's coach. That's why we know him. But like
Yes,
the
and
other
then
Yuri's
two,
coach, Victor's coach, the long hair dude that used to be Japanese Yuri's coach before Japanese Yuri gave up.
pretty much. And then
Yeah, but
went
like-
to Thailand.
okay. Does anybody remember Team Asia at all?
That's what we were talking about. I mean, I don't remember the Chinese guy. I remember the Chinese guy. I don't remember his coach. It was a lady.
We remember Yuri, but we don't remember anybody else from Team Asia.
I
Do we even
remember
know-
the dude from Thailand who was the first Thailand guy
Pinch chick,
who only hit a quad.
pinch cheek.
One
Yeah.
quad
I
in his
mean-
act.
Okay. All of this just kind of tells me it's kind of like real life where most people just remember Russia, Japan. The rest is Asia.
Yeah,
Focus
but, I
on
mean,
the relationships.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is sounding like.
yeah, but okay. Well, anyway, I don't like remember. There was the dude. I just the secondary characters. Can we agree to not get that much love though? Like they were there.
Yeah, no, they were.
But like they didn't. Nothing memorable happened. Like I don't even remember a lot of their names. And some of them only showed up to do their routine for like 2 minutes, and then showed up again at the final to root for Yuri when he was going at the end.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's one thing that I feel like kind of had it short. I feel like we needed more secondary character love. Like we get in a lot of sports anime, you know, like or like a lot of just anime in general. Secondary characters can drive home the plot. I mean, like look at animes like Fairy Tail, where I guess technically nobody's a secondary character unless you're from a different guild. But
I'm about to say Sting and Rogue.
yeah, yeah. So Sting and Rogue were dope. You had Minerva, you had X, Y, and Z. But then looking at Naruto, like some of the best characters were secondary characters in my opinion, like Rock Lee and Guy Lee. You know, like in Sakura.
I mean,
you
to
know?
your
like,
I mean, to your point, and to stick with the Naruto one, who the fuck actually watches that show for Naruto?
I think the
granted,
challenge-
factual.
Or Boruto for Boruto?
Fuck Boruto.
I
Continue.
think the challenge here is we're comparing this to Shonen, who has a like Shonen anime that has a very
Yeah.
specific market intention. We're going to make a lot of episodes with a lot of characters to tell a lot of different stories about. This show, we have a whole cast because
This is true.
we have to
Yeah.
fill out a competition. We only have 12 episodes
This-
to tell everybody's story.
Okay, what about Haiku then?
This is true. Haiku is a team anime, and they have the advantage of actually following since it's a team, they can follow the same kind of formula and appeal to both crowds.
Comey can't communicate?
This
I'm just saying we can't
I don't remember.
excuse this.
So
Because-
I
I
don't
understand.
remember,
Okay,
honestly.
I understand what you're talking about. That we don't get to spend a lot of time on these secondary characters. Granted, this is also only focusing on like 3-ish people and their lives very specifically. But you are right, because the only other character I really remember was JJ, but for some reason I liked him. I don't know. I was like,
Because
yeah,
he was
JJ
Canadian and
style.
a Tramp fan.
No, but not for those specific reasons. But
I love JJ because he was arrogant and he got his, and then he still like had conviction to finish.
yeah, JJ was a good character.
Meh.
But
He
yeah,
was.
other than that, nobody really shone through except for like other Yuri, which being as young as he was and like smoking everybody in that competition, being in first place, I was like, all right, Prodigy over here somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Hard work and the promise of if you don't compete, you have to go back to Russia empty-handed.
Sure.
Hmm.
But no, I agree. But I don't really know what you could do to make that better. I think that's just how the anime went.
I have a quick question about that, actually.
Mhm.
From when I was doing my research about this, from what I understand, there were multiple tournaments
Yes.
that they went through so that they could show multiple routines and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
And if that's the case, why don't you just cut that down?
So, like, and that was kind of like interesting, and they didn't really spend too much time on the middle portions. So, it's kind of like you have your local cup, your local tournament.
Mhm.
You win the local tournament, or you go top 3. You go on to the next tournament in China, and in China, you get top 3 in China. You move on to the next round. Top 3 and whatever, move on to the finals.
Yeah.
But they all do the their same exact their routine that they've practiced in their free version. It was, I don't know, it was interesting, and seeing some other characters along the way who again we really don't remember, but Yuri did the pretty much the same thing, and you saw Yuri improve, each round they went on.
The tournament wasn't particularly long. It served its purpose in showing the long road for Yuri to have to like climb the ladder back to where he was. Because at the very beginning, we see him at the Grand Prix final, which is the biggest competition in the sport, and him fucking it up hardcore. And then he takes some time off and is on the verge of quitting. And then it winds up, the series of events that his idol is going to now be his coach, and he's gonna go win a gold medal. That's his goal. And so it's the progress of climbing the ladder back up to compete at the highest level.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Did we talk about if they kissed?
No, we haven't. So,
Okay. Did they kiss?
way to be subtle there, man.
Maybe. Maybe.
I think they did. But at the same time, it's exactly the scenario at the end of Shield Hero Season 1, where like half the fan base thinks Raptolia and Naofumi kissed, and half the fan base thinks they didn't. So I tend to
anime.
believe. What's that?
Said, anime, always doing this with every
Yeah.
show. Like, did they kiss? We don't know.
Well,
Just
it's
tell
Japan.
me.
Like apparently in Japan, it's like the whole thing with the, what's its face? Shinkai. Your name.
Makoto Shinkai.
Yes, Makoto Shinkai. The whole thing with his movies, the kiss is not as important in Japanese culture, from
journey.
what I understand. So that's again from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, the big thing for the cultural difference is that, especially Western world, we like big moment, big thing. We want fireworks. They don't care about that.
Even though in all his movies there are fireworks. Just saying.
Yeah, true enough. They don't care so much about the big moment outside of just like this is a showpiece leading us into the actual finale or climax or everything.
Yeah.
Or the big moment is a selling point to be like, hey, come spend your money on this.
True.
Which is why we wind up with so many soft endings that are not particularly satisfying to our entertainment choice
So many facts.
or preference.
So many facts. So many facts. Like, that's one thing I need. I need them to, like, stick the landing. That would be extra super dope for me, personally. But yeah, so no, I feel like they kissed. How do y'all feel? Who watched?
I
Fine, I guess I'll leave.
I mean, you're fine. Like, did you see the scene that I'm talking about?
I heard of it. No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Felt like
I don't think it matters.
I felt like that scene was because it's like right when he gets done with this thing, and then they're like jumping all over each other, and then it sets it up, and then it cuts to a hug. I don't know. I want to know what's going on because it gets like insinuated deeply. These motherfuckers have like matching gold rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
wedding
good luck
rings?
Like
charm.
all
It's like,
ass.
is it though? Is it a good luck charm?
So, like-
It's matching rings.
because I also heard there was a scene where there was a proposal. So
Almost.
two
Well,
pieces
not
together,
almost.
they may not fit, but it kind of sounds like they fit.
I don't know. I want them to be happy, whatever the relationship actually is, and I want to see them compete because that's how the end winds up.
Yeah.
How did Strange? How did you feel about the yes, no, maybe of the relationship?
I would have liked to have seen a more definitive, like, you know me. I'm just like, yes, tell me. I need to know, but it's fine. Like, it works out the way it was. It's like kept you engaged, although I don't know why everybody was freaking out about it when it first came out. That's all you saw on Twitter that day was like, oh my gosh, look, I did the thing. I'm like, did they though? I watched it. I'm like, did they? You don't know, but if they did, good for them. If not, I don't. Who am I to say? I don't know.
I want to say just because you don't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen, but I'm a comic book fan, and they have taught me that if you didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Yeah, if you don't see a body, they're not dead. That's what anime
alive.
teaches too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No body, no crown. Yes.
Even a giant fiery explosion, they can still be alive.
Is there an inert cadaver? No, that bitch is out there.
so yeah. Did we touch on the music being an absolute banger?
We
'cause
mentioned
it
it
is.
once or
Yeah,
twice.
like six times.
So History Maker is a clean intro, and History Maker is a clean song that I have in my playlist. And I feel like if Yuri on Ice did one thing right, even though he did multiple things right, like it was like that intro just fits so well. Like the painting, like how it started off as like an ink drawing, then turned into a full painting that flowed with the music. It's what we love. It's what we love. Intro was great. Are we getting a season 2? I don't know. I say it's supposed to be hinted at. There's also an OVA that's supposed to be hinted at.
I
There's
say
also
we
a
haven't
movie that's
even-
supposed to be hinted at.
We ain't
So-
even get the OVA yet. We should have gotten that back in 2019. We still waiting.
Well, COVID almost happened then, so they had to think about what if a pandemic happened, and the pandemic did happen, so they couldn't do it.
It literally happened in 2019. That's why it's called COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Is that factual?
The 19 is for the year it began, because it began in China in 2019.
It's not like it's the 19th COVID.
It just didn't get
I
here
mean,
until months
swine
later.
flu had a 13 in it, so it didn't start in
That's
the 13. though.
H1N1.
Yeah.
guy.
Where's the 13 at?
There's no 13 in H1N1.
Some of them had a 13 in it.
Summon a fiery wind from hell.
The COVID, the SARS-CoV from the year 2013. I don't know, my guy. We're talking about sports anime.
I know. What happened to Yuri on Ice?
Yeah, I want more. I want to know. I want to see the conclusion.
I would
whatever
like
it
to
is.
know.
I want to see the conclusion of the relationship. I want to
Yeah.
see if Yuri actually wins the gold medal before he retires.
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
him compete against his peer now that there's like an actual challenge.
Be some high stakes, though.
I agree. I
They
want
do
to
a
see.
season 2. It's going to be high stakes because we already know what these boys can do.
I want to see Victor show up and put second Yuri to shame. Be like, this is my ring. Like, and I want to see somebody also say, this is my blade technique.
I love the fact that both Yuris beat Victor's world record.
That was a pretty cool moment,
Yeah.
actually. Thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about that. They did. It was very
And
nice,
that-
actually.
That's a relationship point that we kind of haven't touched on, is the fact that both Yuris, the Yuri from Russia and the Yuri from Japan, are Victor's proteges.
Mhm.
The two short programs are choreographed by Victor, and he chose them in conflicting ways to their personality, to challenge them, to make them grow, give them the opportunity to rise to the challenge. And, we see them execute to the highest level because they took that inspiration and hustled and ground and made it their own.
So, like, I'm not going to lie. Watching Yuri on Ice really made me want to rewatch Smile Down the Runway. And really want a season 2 of Smile Down the Runway. Like, I know that's not an anime's job to make you want to go watch another anime. But, like, I was just like, man.
I mean, shit like that happens.
like,
but
I want to know if my boy, like, what he's doing at fashion school and he got left behind. But anyway, so, like, if you can hear this, Studio Mappa, even though you didn't make season 1 of Smile Down the Runway, make season 2. But yeah,
Season 1 of Smile.
or
Down
just
the
give
Line.
those people money. Let them just keep it going.
I think it was A1 Pictures, maybe.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who made season 1, but whoever it was, hurry to make season 2. Yeah. So yeah,
Studio Azola.
well, we're never getting season 2 of that.
Yeah.
Pain.
Oh, they also made Happy Sugar Life, so that makes sense.
Oh my God! How? Why? Why? Why do you give me greatness and hatred at the same time? But anyway, yeah. So
Okay, at least you know they diverse.
yeah. So the last thing that I want to talk about is the Crunchyroll Awards of 2017, 2016. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. Yuri on Ice was good. It was decent even. But
I feel like this is going down.
yeah, it was. My bad. It was good. I can see how some people call it great. I really can. But what I don't see is Yuri on Ice winning every award at the Crunchyroll Awards, which has been a high thing of, contingency. Like, because they're like, yo, how did it beat out ReZero Season 1? How did it beat out Mob Psycho? How did it beat out A Silent Voice, Your Name, My Hero Academia Season 1, Haiku Season 3, like, Konosuba, like, how? And I could understand winning one thing, but winning all of them, winning like best anime, best new anime, like anime of the year, best soundtrack, best direction, like, no offense, but like, no. So I need Crunchy. Like, Commentary of the Iron Fortress came out that year, bro. Even though people hate on that for some odd ass reason, the
Yeah,
music was
why?
a banger. Like, just like, I don't understand. I'm confused and I'm scared and I'm hurt. So, I need Crunchyroll to make an addendum to the 2017 awards that Yuri on Ice did not win all this. For me personally, I don't care about anybody
not
else.
even explain it, just immediately change it.
Yes, because there ain't no way. All respect to everything else and Yuri on Ice, but like, bro, we had Keijo come out that year, man. Like,
All I'm saying is Wikipedia is unlocked. You want it changed, do it yourself.
Change history the way only you can. Through
but
Wikipedia.
yeah,
The way everybody can.
but yeah, like we had a lot of bangers that I didn't really understand. Like, yeah, Assassination Classroom too, which, arguably, is a lot better than that as well.
Arguably.
Yes, I mean, yeah, undeniably, but yeah.
You
So-
know why
Yeah.
this does so well, especially in Best Animation, compared to Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress and Flip Flappers,
Rotoscoping.
rotoscoping, and incredibly well done 3D. I was blown away by the fact that I had to really intently look for the 3D. Now, it's a very straightforward setup. The background, the location is not particularly detailed or intense because it's a skating rink. And we're rotoscoping.
Mm-hmm.
But the animation quality of the 3D was really well done
So,
compared to
but,
some others.
but like Commentary of the Iron Fortress though, like,
Man, that 3D was rough.
Dude, I was so bored with that one that I still haven't finished it. I still haven't made it to episode 4.
no offense, but you are not the best example here. Like, you were like, this man said Bunny Girl Senpai got boring and annoying. Episode 3. So I just,
You got to make it to episode 4. That's all I'm saying.
no, because episode 3 is when she drugs him to go to sleep and everything happens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my feelings.
And by that point, I didn't care.
Just like you have to get to episode 12 of Fruits Baskets.
No, you
No.
don't. No one said that. No one said that. Fruits Baskets is lit from the go. Okay, we gotta end this.
All right.
But
Yep.
yeah, so like, someone say things,
Yuri,
friendships
Yuri
gonna be
on
lost.
Ice.
Bring it, bitch.
Yuri on Ice. Worth your time if it's your jam. Ice skating, relationships, dudes doing stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Check it out. Final words.
First Basket is good from season 1. And you can catch this podcast and other podcasts like it on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Prime Music, or whatever they're called now. Yeah. And Kelz, where else can they catch us? Everywhere.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff on Content Breaker.
Yes. Check out our socials.
Gentlemen, y'all have stuff too.
Yes, you can find me at Static Dreads on Twitter. Please do not be a Russian woman asking me to help her make it to America, because I will not respond to you if you are. But I hope you make it one day. Slalana. This at Static
All
Dreads
right.
with a Z.
Find me on Twitter at StrangelyInt, and then you could find me on YouTube, Strangely Entertaining, and then you can also find me on Twitch. Just look up Strangely Entertaining, and I stream on Tuesdays, 9 o'clock Central Time.
Felt like you were gonna say something else, but yeah.
No, that was it.
Are we
Okay.
done then?
Yeah.
Is that it?
And of course, the other project at Your Typical Shonen Protagonist on all the podcatchers, or Your TSP on Twitter. We have a schedule that is not put on the calendar yet. I'm working on it.
That's-
What are we talking about next week?
I have no idea. That's why I said we don't want to
Okay,
update it.
I will tell you. The planning document says the other podcast. We're doing an entire month of Gandhi Dedikowski.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
The next next week we'll start with an introduction to Getty himself.
Yes.
All here on Content.
Hell yeah.